Well, the Christmas break can often at times be surprisingly busy, both professionally and personally. But one leading expert says executives and investors should use a silly season as a way to unwind so they can better face upcoming challenges. Well, joining us in the studio to hopefully explain just how to do that is Margot Cairnes, who's the founder of one of the country's fastest growing strategic leadership consultancies, Sapphire International. Margot, thanks so much for joining us. Much appreciated, especially coming in on New Year's Eve. Look, many people would be feeling totally battered and bruised by the end of 2008. What can they do to make the most of this time when they should be relaxing and they're probably extremely stressed?
Yes. Look, I think the first thing is to realise that there is a need to grieve. If you've lost your business, you've lost your job, if your circumstances have gone back, maybe you have to go back to work after retirement, it's normal to feel a bit down. And that's actually a healthy part of any grieving process. So we know this thing called DABDA, which is denial first. Oh, it hasn't happened, it's not going to happen to me, bargaining, pleading with God, whoever. But going through a depression to just acceptance. And once we get to acceptance, then our real work begins about how to get on and make this work for us.
Yeah, it was interesting. While I was having a think about what I was going to ask you, I was thinking that for many families, Christmas can in fact be a stressful time already. There's the whole financial impact. It's not cheap, especially if you've got a big family. And, sometimes there can be competitiveness and rivalry and all that sort of thing that goes on. And so how's the best way to deal with that, given that some people already have extra stresses to begin with, then on top of that there might be financial issues, employment issues, the rest of it?
Yeah, well, there's a thing called self-care, and a lot of people think that it's sort of selfish, but the Dalai Lama calls it self-responsibility. And that's, what do I need to do to look after myself? So if I've been battered and bruised from whatever's happened in the markets, then does going for a walk help? Getting some exercise definitely helps. Maybe sitting down and talking with the family about what's true for you, reviewing your values. Now, what matters to us as a family? This is a lovely time of year to kind of look back and go, what can I learn from where I've been and what can I do really constructively to move forward? So it's really taking that time. And a lot of people think, oh, I can't do that, I'm too busy. But actually, it's the best thing you can possibly do.
If you've actually lost your job and you can afford to, is it best to sit back, give yourself a breather, if you like, be refreshed before you put yourself out there applying for other jobs?
Look, I think you need to go through a process, Nina, and the process involves the grieving, as I've said. It involves making sure you're fit and healthy, and that's emotionally as well as physically. And you might even need some professional help, and you can get that through paying services, but also there are a lot of community groups that actually have support groups of people that have gone through things like that. Because if we race into another job, it may not be using the opportunity. Because in a way, and I know this is awful, but it has happened to me and I've done it this way myself, when a tragedy hits us, it is a time then when we actually can step back and review. And that takes courage, and we get frightened. But if you can do that, you can actually have a leap forward in your life that you're not expecting.
And is it your thoughts as well that some executives who may have been extremely busy throughout the year and perhaps are facing a not so busy 2009 for whatever circumstances, that this is actually the time when they can reflect on the things that are more important to them, family and the like?
Absolutely. And also to learn something new. I had the best massage ever from a guy that told me he used to be a boilermaker at BHP. And when BHP in Newcastle closed down, he went and learned how to do massage, and he liked it so much he became a masseuse. So, I know a lot of executives who on the weekend are winemakers, or they have some other hobby. I mean, this is an opportunity to do something that makes you happy. I mean, executives spend so much time making money, but, actually, why not make happy?
Margot, we've talked a lot about the people who have suffered problems in 2008, perhaps they've lost their jobs, been under significant financial stress, but also with the economic environment how it is and going into 2009, we are dealing with an issue of uncertainty, and there's certainly people this Christmas time who would be thinking, my goodness, am I going to last the next year and I still have my job, or am I still going to be able to afford my mortgage repayments? What's going to happen? So how do they, I guess, prepare for the year that's coming up?
Okay, Nina, so it's not just going to be that. A lot of people that have had hiccups at work have also had hiccups at home. So the average length of an Australian marriage is now 9 years. So this is really a time about saying, what do I want? What really matters to me? And putting the things in place to allow you to make the best use of that. So again, it could be meditating, walking, yoga, friends, support group, anything that gets you to go back and say, what about me? Because most of us are so focused outside, we forget about ourselves.
And just finally, if you're still in employment, but perhaps you're very nervous and unsure about the year ahead, is now a good time to consider a career change, or is that too risky?
What do they say about a crisis? Great opportunities and great dangers. So, you know, that's when we make the best moves. That's when we make the most money. You know, if you don't take an opportunity of change and chaos when it happens, it may pass, and then we actually sit in a rut. So, yes, it is risky. It's always risky, but that's often where we make the most gain.
Okay, Margot, thank you so much for joining us. I wish you a very happy new year and hopefully a very successful 2009 as well, with less stress for executives and investors out there.
Thanks a lot, Nina.